Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is starting off with such an awesome concept behind it. Instead of being the heroes, for once, we get to play the Suicide Squad. Right now, the confirmed lineup for the Suicide Squad is King Shark, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang. Personally, I'm hoping we get a few more characters on top of that, and potentially, that's another video we could be talking about. I'm more than satisfied with the lineup that we have, but a couple more characters on top of that would be nice. But our playable roster is not what we're going to be talking about in this video. Instead, we're going to be focusing on our targets, the Justice League. Who's going to be in this game? Who has Brainiac taken control of? What does the Justice League look like in this world? Well, we know that this is the same world as the Arkham series. We know that the two are connected. This has been directly confirmed by Rocksteady. Unfortunately, though, that doesn't give us a lot of insight as to who the Justice League is. To my knowledge, there were no Justice League members confirmed throughout the Arkham series games. We also know that Batman is technically dead at the end of the Arkham series, or at least to our knowledge. But we know that someone has taken up the mantle of Batman. Even if it is just Bruce Wayne underneath the mask, it's not really important for the point that I want to make. The point being that there's going to be a Batman in this game. Someone has to take up that mantle, regardless if it's Bruce or whoever. Batman is just far too marketable of a character to not have in the game. In fact, in the trailer, which I did a whole breakdown of, I'll leave that linked at the end of this video if you haven't seen it already, one of the balloons that King Shark is popping as the crew talks to each other actually has a bat symbol on it. Something to note is that that bat symbol is the normal bat symbol. It's not like the nightmare bat symbol that we saw at the end of the Arkham series. Regardless of how exactly it all ends up playing out, I'm sure that there's going to be a Batman in this game. I think it would be really cool if we get to end up fighting that nightmare version of Batman. I'm just not expecting it. Superman has obviously been directly confirmed. Ever since there's been public information about this game, we've known Superman was going to be in it. Plus, he's just like the most obvious character, right? Who is the Justice League if not Superman? Even though that is the case, they've been focusing a lot on Superman. Like, the main poster for the game has Superman on it. The very first trailer we ever saw was heavily focused on Superman. Perhaps Superman's going to play a sort of final boss role in this game. Maybe he'll be like the second last boss before we verse Brainiac, but that's besides the point. Superman is going to be in the game. Similar to Batman, Green Lantern has his own emblem on one of those balloons in the same scene, so I'm guessing there's also going to be a Green Lantern. I have a slight preference for John Stewart, but I honestly would be fine with any of the Green Lanterns. Now, this next part was a part of DC Fandom, and I believe that was supposed to be an exclusive interview, so I can't actually show you any of it on YouTube, or at least to my knowledge, I can't show you any of it on YouTube, just to be on the safe side, just to make sure I don't get a copyright strike. You'll have to take my word for it. But after the game was revealed, Will Arnett did this like group conference voice call with all of the Suicide Squad members, and all the voice actors were playing their characters in this call. It was actually pretty cool. But the concept behind this call was that Will Arnett was trying to convince all of the Suicide Squad members to embark on this impossible mission to kill the Justice League. Captain Boomerang pouted and he didn't want to do it because it was so dangerous, but eventually Will Arnett did manage to convince Captain Boomerang. He did it by reminding Captain Boomerang that there's a chance he'll be able to kill the Flash, which as far as I'm concerned is direct confirmation, or at least as direct as we're going to get, of my favorite Justice League member, the Flash. Both the Flash and Superman have been directly confirmed for the game, while Batman and Green Lantern were both referenced in the announcement trailer. That's all the public information we have about the Justice League members. But that would be a pretty short video if we would end it right here, right? So instead, I thought it would be fun to talk about the rest of the potential lineup of Justice League members. Kind of like a prediction list, kind of like a wish list. It's somewhere in between. We're just kind of talking about it, right? Anyway, Wonder Woman has to be in this game. It completes the holy trinity of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I'm sure every single one of us would be completely shocked if Wonder Woman isn't in this game. I mean, is anybody expecting Wonder Woman to not be in this game? Aquaman and Cyborg are seemingly similarly required to be a part of the Justice League. They are pretty tied to what the identity of the Justice League is at this point. On top of that, each of them do offer very unique gameplay options as potential boss fights. Aquaman could send hordes of enemies your way and you'd have to clear them and then eventually fight him. Aquaman could be right there on the front lines with all of those enemies. You'd be constantly trying to avoid him because I'm sure he'd be the strongest of all of them. Where Cyborg could offer a more projectile-oriented boss fight where you're trying to avoid his area of effect abilities and then getting in key points of damage where you can. That already puts us up to 7 Justice League members, which is a pretty stacked lineup. If we expect the Justice League to act as essentially big boss battles in this game, and then we assume that Brainiac will also be a boss fight, we have a total of 8 bosses, which is on the lower end of what I would expect this game to have, but I think 8 is like a plausible number. Like, I wouldn't be shocked shocked if we ended up with 8 boss fights. 8's a pretty good number. That's more than most of the Arkham games. And if the game intends to have post-launch content, perhaps maybe even free post-launch content like a lot of the live service games out there, again, we don't know if this game is live service or not, but with the potential of it being live service, I think 8 would be like a pretty reasonable lineup, especially for launch. But just for fun, and the fact that we're doing this video, we might as well just add a few more Justice League members, because why not, right? Red Tornado could be a really fun boss fight. He offers like a lot of potential really cool opportunities there. But on top of that, he's just a character that doesn't get a lot of spotlight, and I feel like he should. This character just doesn't get added to a lot of media. It would be really nice to see him get a chance in the spotlight, even if it's just one of our various enemies in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. At least he's in something. Green Arrow has obviously risen in popularity as of recent, mainly because of the CW shows, and I think he'd be a perfect fit for something like this. Even if he's just the first Justice League member we have to fight, because maybe the Suicide Squad goes after him because they underestimate how good he is, but he also has tons of various different tricks that he could pull off with his arrows, which could offer really unique possibilities for interesting mechanics. His boxing glove could push you back further than the average arrow. He's got ice arrows, explosive arrows, stuff like that. Green Arrow is actually a really good character to teach everybody the universal rules of the game and how you can expect boss fights to play out in the future. I actually think he's like the perfect first boss to have in the game. That's assuming that this game follows the formula that we've been talking about, right? Where we just go from Justice League member to Justice League member and take them all down. Just throwing out some ideas at this point, you could also totally add like a random international Justice League member, somebody like Blue Beetle or Booster Gold. But for my last pick on this list, I wanted to pick Firestorm. I love Firestorm as a character, and I'm sure we can all imagine some pretty crazy scenarios for him and his boss fight. I thought about adding Shazam to this list, which I think would be awesome. I would love to fight Shazam in this game, but I really don't like the idea of us murderously hunting down Billy Batson, you know? Like, it just doesn't feel good. Like, he's perfectly capable, but like, it just doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be able to empathize with our Suicide Squad members, and if they're hunting down Billy Batson, it's just not good optics, you know? Anyway, that's my list for potential Justice League members, alongside with the confirmed list of characters that we have. I mean, technically, you know, Batman and Green Lantern aren't confirmed to be controlled by Brainiac, but just based on the title of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Superman is being controlled by Brainiac. It stands to reason that the other Justice League members are being controlled by Brainiac. The balloons say that Green Lantern and Batman exist in this world. Green Lantern and Batman are almost certainly a part of the Justice League as a result. Therefore, they will probably be people we fight. And Will Arnett practically just confirmed the Flash anyway, so the Flash is also in the game. But of course, everybody else we talked about was just my wish list, prediction list nonsense. Who would you like to be in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? Who do you want us to fight in this game? And let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe I'll do like a version of this video, but for the Suicide Squad. Talk about potential characters that we could be playing in the future. People have been asking for a part 2 to the video that I did before the game was even announced, so maybe I could do something like that. My name is Bilbzy. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. It means the world to me, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next one.